Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at Cspeak, the cloud-based voice recognition application to do your voice recognition documentation in GE Centricity. Cspeak is again, a cloud-based voice recognition engine that utilizes the Nuance Dragon Medical One technology and is customized specifically for Centricity. So we want to jump right in. One of the first things you'll notice, whether you're using remote desktop or whether you're using Citrix or Thin Client, we can run the software within that environment. So uh, really nice to not have to run it locally and try to dictate over those connections. It can all run directly on the terminal server or Citrix server. So notice that I'm running Centricity right now in a remote desktop setting. And so we're going to be operating completely for this demonstration in that environment. Um, the other really nice part about the way we can deploy this is you can see we can add a button in Centricity. So there's a single login. We can then open the voice recognition from within Centricity. It will pass your Centricity username and you can just directly log in. Great, so let's jump in. You can see with a small control panel for the software, we can move that to some spot that's going to stick there next time you log in, so you can kind of put it in an area you don't really use. And yeah, I'm going to jump right in. So I'm going to start a encounter, and for the folks on Centricity, this will make a lot of sense to you. Um, I think it is worth mentioning before we jump into the actual documentation that we're using a cloud-based version of this software. So for any of the users that are using the older Dragon Medical Practice Edition or the Network 360 edition, everything we're doing is stored in the cloud. So whether you have this installed on one computer or 100 computers, you really just walk up, you log in, and all of the changes sort of sync together based on that cloud-based profile. So there's none of that local storage or network storage of the voice profiles. Yeah, and so there's a few things I wanted to sort of talk a little bit about. Because Cspeak is sort of built for Centricity, using that Nuance cloud-based platform, we can do some custom things that give you some command and control. I'm going to demonstrate a couple of those now. Patient names we know are difficult, so I'm going to show you how you can just say Mr. Patient or Miss Patient to plug that patient that patient's name in there. Mr. Patient reports pain in their right hip for the last 3 weeks, period. The pain has been consistent and is referring to the upper thigh and knee when walking, period. The discomfort is causing limping and reduces the range of motion greatly, period. He has tried over-the-counter NSAIDs, with little relief, period. And you can see how it plugs in Mr. Johnson, so it pulls the name from the database so you don't have to remember, but it still allows you to sort of customize that and have some individuality with actually saying the patient's name. For those of the users that are using voice recognition right now, you know that's pretty challenging to do. Yeah, you can say things like next form, hold update, sign update, next form, hold update. So you can see how what that does is takes a few of those clicks for you. You can say things like open letter. It'll click all the clicks to open a letter. You can say things like new flag. So it gives you a little bit of command and control, saves you a few clicks, which is obviously really the name of the game when it comes to documentation. I'm going to dictate a little bit more, and I'm going to show you one of the other features that's just really incredible when you're dealing with moving from one of the older platforms of voice recognition onto this new one. So I'm going to jump in here and do a physical exam. And what I want to do is I want to demonstrate to you how easy it is to create what we call an auto text. An auto text is similar to a quick text in that you can insert a large amount of data narrative based on a single command. And different from quick text is there's no character limitation on these. So I'm just going to demonstrate that for you quickly, just so you can get a real sense for what that's going to feel like when you're using it. Gait with hip hike on right heel strike, period. Moderate tenderness at right L5 and sacroiliac junction, period. Negative straight leg test, period. Right upper lumbar hypertonicity, period. Decreased range of motion to trunk flexion, period. Plus right standing flexion test, comma, negative seated flexion test, period. L5 FRS straight, period. Right anterior innominate, period. Select all. Create auto text. And you can see there what I've done is I've created a physical exam on the fly with two commands. I can insert that into an auto text. And now that's my normal physical exam mail. You can do this for all sorts of things. If you've got an injections or risk and benefits, if you're sort of working, you think, gosh, I'd really like to save that text to be able to insert it later. It's really that simple. Uh, so I'll show you here the one that I just created. Normal PE mail. And just that quick, I've created an auto text. So if you're using one of the older versions of Dragon, everybody's aware of how difficult it is to create those macros, is what they call them. It's quite clicky. It takes you to a completely different part of Dragon. It's very difficult to try to do that while you're seeing patients. So this is a way that sort of integrates that right at the point where you're using it. And I'll just show you one other auto text, and then we'll wrap it up. So if I go to the CPOE here, maybe I want to insert something about education. We can pre-build a lot of that stuff. Insert education handout. And this is just a statement that says the patient was given two handouts. Yeah, and so these are the types of things that I think make this platform of voice recognition radically different than what most of you guys are using, or if you're not using any at all, really create some streamlined workflows where you can create some efficiencies with how you document. The last thing I want to just show you is this control panel. Very different than the other versions of Dragon, where everything right here, we have this control panel that sort of gives you a lot with just a few clicks. And so you get in here, you can see all of the help is stored in here. So you can come in here and say, what can I say? I can say, come in here to my correction commands. It shows you everything that's capable within the software. So yeah, that's what I wanted to cover. Hope that helps answer some questions about what it would be like for you to use Cspeak. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Thank you.